Netflix just released their first official look of Liam Hemsworth as Geralt in The Witcher Season 4. We're going to need to talk about this. Hello everyone, this is Digital Charcuterie. My name is James. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new to the channel and looking forward to or not looking forward to The Witcher Season 4 on Netflix, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be talking about it, discussing it. October 30th is the date, official release date announced late last night. The trailer came out, a little teaser, if you will, and the release date for October 30th. I noticed right away, just October 30th. No part 1, part 2 nonsense. Now, of course, they shot Season 4 and Season 5 together as one big long thing, and they're going to split up into 2 seasons, so maybe that's why there's not 2 release dates, or maybe they're going to throw a wrench in our plans later on and give us a second half of this season when it comes time to ruin our lives. But for right now, October 30th is the date, which is great. A Halloween release, Halloween type show, I guess. And here we are. Now, The Witcher is a series that I wasn't familiar with going into the Netflix show. I watched the Netflix show and I said, you know what? The first season of the Netflix show, and I said, you know what, I think I'm kind of into this. I like the world, I like the lore. Let's dig a little bit deeper. I got myself The Witcher 3 on my PS4, and I started doing a deep dive into the books, and absolutely loved the world, and like even more than the show, I love it so much. And for those of you who have read the books and played the games, you understand why. There's so much more going on in those. But I still enjoyed the show. I still enjoyed Season 2 and even Season 3, and I think because I got into the series before I got into like the books and the game and all that, like before all that, I think I'm able to separate it almost like it's a different beast altogether, so I can enjoy the series for what it is. Now, do I have a preference? Of course I do, but we're going to talk about the show because that's where we are. And the big deal right now is Geralt being recast by Liam Hemsworth. Henry Cavill obviously was a massive fan of the game and the character Geralt, and he wanted to take the show in the direction of the actual story, and the series was like, we're better than you, we're gonna do what we want. And so they're doing what they want now, and again, for better or worse, it is what it is. We're getting it, but he had to say goodbye. He just didn't believe in the series anymore, and I think viewership numbers have gone down a little bit. And if you see the comments online, it seems like most people are not really on board with this. And I think Netflix made the right call by ending it with Season 5. Just based on it, I don't know how well this season's going to go. October 30th, I guess we'll find out how Liam Hemsworth is. But let's get right into it. How did Liam Hemsworth do with this teaser? And just based on this teaser, I got to be completely honest with you. Look, the comparisons are going to be there for him versus Henry Cavill. And obviously this little bit that we got, it's way too early to tell. We're getting some action sequences, a little tiny bit of dialogue. But until then, you can't do a fair comparison of the two. And most people are going to pick Henry Cavill anyway, no matter what. But right now you can't do it. But I will say one thing that did stick out to me, and I kind of appreciated it, was that he wasn't doing an impression of Henry Cavill. He was kind of bringing his own Geralt to the role, and I think that's a smart choice, because the further he goes with the raspier voice, the more he tries to emulate Henry Cavill, the more fans or viewers are going to step back and say, hey, you're not Geralt, what are you doing here? So he's going to bring his own thing to his role, his own persona to the character of Geralt, to the role of Geralt in this portrayal. And I think that's a very smart choice, and it didn't bother me whatsoever. Again, I think it's going to be one of those things where you're going to have to separate Henry Cavill from this, and whether or not you can do that remains to be seen. But I mean, you look at a show like Andor, and they just cast Bail Organa, obviously not, the role's not as significant as Geralt whatsoever, but they did a recast there with Benjamin Bratt replacing Jimmy Smits, and I think it worked out pretty well. Like, it was a little jarring at first, like, well, that's not Jimmy Smits, but then you kind of get into it, and Benjamin Bratt again did his own thing with the role, kind of brought his own persona to it, changed it a little bit, but still kept it very much Bail Organa, where I feel like that's what we're going to get here with Liam Hemsworth. So I'm not too disappointed with that. I thought he actually did okay. Like in this little short teaser, you can't, like, his acting wasn't on display here. It was the performance and the epicness, and obviously the wraith that he deals with, which I gotta say looked kind of cool. It looked like when I watched The Witcher, as much as it would be nice to follow the stories that we know, I know those stories, so I could separate them a little. Like, again, I'm old, and I've lived through reading books as a kid and then hating every adaptation in my life. So I've kind of come to this point now where I'm just like, it is what it is. Let's just enjoy it for what it is. And look, I haven't liked every episode of The Witcher. I'm not saying I've liked every episode, but I do enjoy this series, and I'm looking forward to Season 4 and what they're going to do with it. They also released some stills, and we got our first official look of Laurence Fishburne as Regis, which is a bizarre casting, but you look at him here and it's just like, I I like Laurence Fishburne quite a bit. I think he's a great actor, and I think he's going to relish this performance and this character and this role. Because Regis is one of the most fascinating late-game characters in the Sapkowski saga. On the surface, he's a calm, eloquent, almost monk-like barber surgeon who joins Geralt's ragtag company during Baptism of Fire. But the big reveal, and the reason why we all love this guy, is because Regis is actually a higher vampire. Unlike the mindless beasts Witcher usually slay, higher vampires are intelligent, immortal, and terrifyingly powerful. Regis, though, is different. He's centuries old. He's learned restraint, and he's chosen to live a sober, almost ascetic life after years of wild indulgence. His bond with Geralt becomes one of mutual respect and quiet brotherhood, and his presence forces Geralt and the audience to ask what makes someone a monster, their nature or their choices. And season 4 is going to borrow a lot from Baptism of Fire as well as The Tower of Swallows. This novel tightens on Ciri herself. It's fractured in voice and perspective, and much of it is about the traps set around the girl everyone wants, political and otherwise. On screen, expect sequences that shift away from Geralt and towards Ciri as the axis of action. She's running, hiding, fighting her way through a world that wants to claim her. The book structure allows the show to play with time and perspective, kind of like the first season. In practical terms, look for more stealth, fugitive beats, and the heavy introduction of characters who do not look like heroes but become pivotal players, bounty hunters, mercenaries, and grim survivors who will cross Ciri's path in ways that complicate everything. And they're also going to be borrowing from the book Lady of the Lake. The Crescendo, Sapkowski's final volume, ties political threads to personal destinies and contains the emotional payoffs for everyone invested in the trio's arc. There's big mythic resonance here, destinies collide, prophecies get tested, and the show will be forced to decide which threads to keep and which to prune for the screen. Expect season 5 to carry the heavy finale, but season 4 must set the board, deepen series choices, put Geralt and Yennefer against impossible trade-offs, and make the audience feel the cliff under everyone's feet. On camera, that's more scenes where personal bonds become political flashpoints. Loved ones turn liabilities, and homes become battlegrounds. And of course, there's the aforementioned Baptism of Fire, which this season is going to borrow heavily from. In the books, this is a road novel suddenly gone grim and intimate. It's where Geralt, weak and wounded, assembles a ragged crew, a found family, and begins tracking Ciri's trail. On screen, expect the show to lean into ensemble travel beats, Geralt's recruiting of allies, real conversations to strip him down, and slow unspooling of Ciri's trail across the continent at war. So all in all, I like where they're heading with season 4. Again, we won't know till we get there October 30th, but it sounds, look, it always sounds promising. We'll see what they deliver, how they deliver. And Liam Hemsworth, I'm really curious to see more of what he does with Geralt. Can he replace Henry Cavill? Most people would say no, me probably as well. Henry Cavill was great in the role. He loved the role, relished the role, but that's not to say Liam Hemsworth is any different. Is he as good an actor as Henry Cavill? Time will tell on that one. Again, I like the way he strayed away from just emulating Cavill's performance in first 3 seasons. He's doing his own thing, it looks like. I thought the visuals, again, look very well done, and it has that little campiness to it that I quite enjoy. It's not completely serious, kind of like the books and all that. It's got a little hints of the jokes in there, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, but at the same time, it is very serious as well. It knows when to have fun with the material, and that I appreciate. So I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What did you make of Liam Hemsworth as Geralt in the little bit that we got? And are you going to watch season 4 of The Witcher? And with that, are you even going to watch season 5? I guess it might depend on what you think of season 4. Let me know in the comments down below. I'll be back later today with an Alien video. I got more Peacemaker videos, more It videos, and of course, we'll be talking Witcher until the release on October 30th. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hit the like button, subscribe button. I really appreciate you spending your time with me today, and may you be the master of your own universe.